You know, I'm happy that Major League Baseball, the owners, the players, the personnel, everyone involved came together. They got on the same page. And we will have baseball in the summer of 2020. I'm Matt Levine, welcoming you right here to the 954sports.com YouTube channel with some Bowie in the background. Yes, we can all be heroes for just one day. What a great song. My favorite Bowie song. Major League Baseball will return. The other day, in my latest MLB video here on the 954sports.com YouTube channel, I talked about Commissioner Rob Manfred. Take a look at the gentleman right here. Implementing the 60-game season that was basically based on a couple things happening. Two questions that he presented to the Major League players and the Players Association. Look at the penmanship. I've talked about that before. I'm jealous of that penmanship. We will have baseball. They agreed on signing off on players for all the respective teams reporting to a spring training or abbreviated one on July 1st. Thumbs up, that could happen. The second thing is Major League Baseball and Commissioner Manfred basically put together an operations manual for circumstances of Major League Baseball returning to play under the, what I call the new normal, right? What everyone's calling. There was a 101-page operating manual, kind of a safety guideline on how to manage things now that we return to the old ballpark amid COVID-19. Once they were able to do that, they were able to do this. Break out the bunting. We will have MLB. Will the stadiums be full? I don't know. Could get a lot of that. Sparse crowd, social distancing. However, the governor in Texas, Governor Abbott, he said he expects fans to return to the games for their two squads with the Rangers and the Astros respectively. Look at the Astros fans going crazy. Astros owner said he expects fans out in full force. We shall see. There will be challenges. Let's tell you about some of the other conditions of the 101 safety guide. There will be a 60-game season, as I mentioned, 23rd and 24th of July. That's when the season will get underway. The playoff format, not going to be shifted. They're going to keep 10 teams from 5 from both leagues, I should say. They'll keep the 2 wild cards, the 3 division winners. Playoff format unchanged. Designated hitter, well, that's going to be in full effect. You might get a lot of slugfest. I put these 2 teams up there with the Yanks, Angels. Could get a lot of softball beer league scores. I remember back in the day doing my morning sports for CBS in Connecticut, WSTC, WNLK. I would have days, at least 3 or 4 per season, where I would read off American League scores and end it with the same joke. You'd say something like Tampa Bay throttled Anaheim 16-5. The Yankees stomped the Red Sox 12-3. It was the Rays destroying the Blue Jays 19-4. And then I'd end it with, folks, mind you, this is an MLB scoreboard, not an NFL scoreboard. Lots of touchdowns and field goals yesterday. Something like that. I'm showing off just a little bit, but you get my point, right? You could get a lot of those type of scores with the designated hitter in place for this abbreviated 60-game season with both the NL and AL. Another interesting tidbit, they'll designate Nashville, Tennessee, which is just a spectacular city, as the site where they'll have 2 idle teams of just free agents playing against each other, keeping themselves in shape. It'll be sort of like the NBA's D-League. It'll be a taxi squad for all these teams to pluck players if need be. Very interesting. The travel, I'm not going to give you weather predictions. It looks like a weather map. I won't do it. I'm just going to highlight my point by showing you this is the breakdown of the United States and the Major League Baseball squads and where they're located. Look at those two Texas teams in the bottom all by themselves in the Lone Star State. The big cluster, of course, the right side of your screen, the northeast, the Atlantic Seaboard, all those teams up in the Boston, Philly, Washington, New York area. Then the cluster of teams, a little bit more spread out in the Midwest, and then you hit the peninsula down south, you see Tampa, Atlanta, Florida, and so on and so forth. They're going to make it easier. The divisions will play each other 40 times. So the 5 teams in each division will get a crack at each other 8 times. The remaining 20 games will be made up of teams that are more regional. So if you took the top box, let's say in the left corner, the top box in the right corner would be the AL East, NL East, they'll square off because geographically it makes sense for them to play these regional games to lessen the travel. As far as spring training goes, with the boys of summer reporting to spring training in the summer for the first time ever on July 1st, there'll be challenges like the New York teams. I mean, Yanks fans, take a look at this. Yanks and Mets, they've been training in Florida, so Florida's had a spike. Of course, the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut has been in the news saying they want to quarantine folks coming into Florida because the numbers in New York have dwindled with COVID-19. They don't want a second wave and a spike. So this is from Governor Cuomo yesterday. Let's read it to you. The Yanks and Mets have been in touch with Governor Cuomo's office today, which again yesterday. We'll work with New York State Health Department on a continuing basis to coordinate the return of players from Florida to train in New York next week. Our 2 teams, as well as the state health commissioner, will work under Major League Baseball's protocols and guidelines. We're all excited to bring baseball back to New York. Thank you, Governor Cuomo. Yes, I'm excited to get baseball back to New York and everywhere else. Okay, some other things to look out for. There will be a COVID inactive list, a special one at that. That means that any players testing positive will go on an indefinite inactive list till they test negative and they're cleared and healthy to return. There'll be 30-man rosters. There'll be a 60-man roster that needs to be submitted to Big League Baseball by this Sunday. Will masks come into play? I wondered. This is the Korean Baseball League, where they wear masks. They had to do a better job with those masks. Maybe they have since. I was thinking, if you're going to wear a mask, why wear the white ones? Just wear your team logo. Now, what the 101-page safety guideline is calling for is that non-playing personnel must wear masks in the dugout, and the players, I guess, on the field not going to be required to wear the mask. I'm looking through this. I'm getting distracted. Just looking through the 101 safety guidelines. Get back to that, and I'll read some other funky things off of there. But the mask itself, players won't have to wear them. The other personnel, non-playing personnel, will have to wear them. Mascots, they'll return, including the Philly Fanatic, who he's going to need a big mask to get over that snout, I'll tell you that much. Let's read you some other stuff. Roll some highlights while we do that. Big maple right there. Paxson, right? Decent first year for the Yankees. Some other provisions. No bat, boy, girl, no bat, ball, no bat/ball, boy or girls. Their duties will be handled by team personnel. Hitters will have their own personal pine tar rag, bat weight, and other hitting equipment. Nothing is sheared. Players will have to retrieve their own cap and glove at the end of an inning. If they're on base, a teammate can't bring it to them. High fives, fist bumps, and other hugs are prohibited. Fighting will be met with severe discipline. Non-playing personnel, I told you, will have to wear masks in the dugout. Showering at a ballpark is discouraged. Even then, only players, coaches, and clubhouse staff can shower at the park. Those are just some of the provisions. Interesting. So a whole different set of guidelines. And we'll have Major League Baseball back, but we'll have it back in a way that we've never seen before. I'm excited. I think the players and the owners found a way to do the right thing. We can use a lift right now. I've said it before. We all know that, right? And sports, to me, is at many times the great denominator in being the ultimate stress reliever. So with that said, I've got to show you my shirt. Of course, I'm geared up. This is the Yankees spring training shirt, or jersey, I should say. And of course, I've got a real Yankees jersey right here. As John Sterling, the Yankees announcer, would say, the interlocking NY. There's no number on the back. I need to get a number, and that's very simple. I'm going to do a number. I'm going to do one of two numbers. It's going to be 23 or number 2. But nonetheless, your team will have a chance to compete for a World Series championship. My Yankees now have the opportunity to get the quest for 28 going. And I know a lot of folks are going to say, oh, they're returning with all these provisions and modifications. You can put an asterisk next to the team that wins the World Series. I'll tell you this much. I think the team that wins the World Series, this is looking at it from the outside looking in late June with about a month to go. Whoever wins this World Series, I have a feeling, earned it. Because there are going to be a lot of obstacles that Major League Baseball is going to have to deal with this summer, just like society in all pockets of the world. It's going to be, again, interesting. We shall see what bumps in the road come up. And I think the team that earns the World Series championship this year is by far going to be a world champion for more reasons than one. But nonetheless, again, get the bunting out. Get ready for 9 innings. Get ready for some baseball. Oh, let me throw this at you before I get out of here and start my day. A couple other things to note. They're going to throw this wrinkle in there. You go into extra innings. Every half inning, they're going to put a runner on second. Talk about speeding up the game, adding a dynamic. Major League Baseball's version of sudden death overtime. I think that's going to be pretty cool. They'll make little tweaks, make some changes. Who knows how it's going to affect the game going forward. But again, it's going to be fun to watch. It's the new improved, condensed version of the COVID-19 era of Major League Baseball. Now all we do is wait and see what happens and get ready for the boys this summer to hit the diamond. Stay tuned. I can't wait. I'm certainly looking forward to baseball returning. And hey, Major League Baseball, everyone involved, hats off. You've taken your opportunity again to be heroes. Baseball is back.